Found footage for me is one of the best ways to create a storyline because of how realistic it can be. I think found footage is one of the most effective ways to portray any kind of emotions into the audience, and it's not a secret that horror is the main genre that is used in found footage. Welcome back everyone to another video here on the channel Royal Horror. As you know me, my name is Tiago, and I'm so excited to talk about this because, as you probably know, or maybe you don't know, found footage is one of my favorite subgenres in horror because of, like I said before, of how realistic it is. And as you read by the title, what we're gonna do today is I'm gonna talk about 5 horror franchises that should include a found footage installment because they haven't done it yet. Now, it's not a secret that found footage is a phenomenon, and it has been a phenomenon for the last 4 decades, let's say, because it's not a secret that with films like The Blair Witch Project from 1999 and The Paranormal Activity from 2005, I believe, found footage became something. Like, people knew what found footage was, and I'm really excited for that because not many people knew about it even before The Blair Witch Project came out, and huge respects for that film. And it's one of my favorites found footage films out there, and thanks to those films a lot of found footage films started to come out, and a lot of good ones, honestly. And obviously it's not a secret that Paranormal Activity became literally a whole franchise for 3 whole decades, and that's really exciting. At least for me, Paranormal Activity, even though it's not one of my top 5 horror franchises ever, I do still appreciate because of how innovative and how different they are from other horror franchises, how original they are. So the idea with today's video is I'm going to go through 5 horror franchises that I do believe they should include a found footage installment because they have a lot of concepts within the franchise that could work in found footage, if that makes sense. And obviously because they haven't done it before, and obviously because some of the franchises on this list, they are running out of ideas, and I know more films are gonna come out from these franchises, so why not do something different that they haven't done before so they can do a whole new recipe, if that makes sense. So coming at number 5, it's actually my favorite horror franchise of all time, and I do think this beautiful concept can be portrayed so well within found footage, and that will be the Final Destination franchise. Now, it's not a secret that a 6th installment is coming up. When, I really don't know. Like, I literally did my synopsis, like my predictions ages ago. I do think they can make a new Final Destination film found footage, in a found footage way, if that makes sense. And how I will do this, you might ask. And the way that I will do this personally is that Final Destination is a concept that doesn't need to take place in one place, in one country, you know what I mean? So I think the way they can do this is have different people all around the world, obviously, like maybe different friends connecting on a Skype or something, that something like Final Destination is happening to all of them, if that makes sense. Or like different relatives from like all around the world. Or also we could have a vlogger that, like, this is happening, like the protagonist can be a vlogger, a YouTuber, you know, so that person is always with the camera because to discover what's really happening, and also maybe because cameras can capture things that the human eye cannot see. And maybe that way that person, the lead, can discover how to beat up the death synopsis from Final Destination, if that makes sense. Now, I know it can be slightly complicated because, as we know, in Final Destination, many different kind of people die, and obviously the lead is not always with them. So it will be a bit challenging to make that, how to portray the death from all of the victims in the film without the lead being involved. However, I do think that maybe the way that it can be portrayed is that this vlogger and the group of people around the vlogger or the YouTuber, maybe the lead can tell them, look, this is happening, so you all better film yourselves at all times and send me the clips or something. I can study the clips and all of that. So maybe that way can be portrayed, and I don't know, and maybe that's why this Final Destination is at the bottom of this list, because I think it's the concept that could be most challenging to make it a found footage. Coming at number 4, this is like probably the most popular franchise on this list because obviously I love this franchise, everyone loves this franchise, and we have 6 films already from this film, and that will be the Scream franchise. Yes, you heard me right, I do think Scream should have a found footage installment. Now, it's not a secret that obviously there is a lot of situation happening with Scream 7. We don't need to go there right now, but if there is a Scream 8, let's say, or like in a few years time, maybe a new production company takes the rights from Scream, and maybe it's Scream 7 or whatever, I really don't know. But I do think we need something fresh and something new in Scream, because it's not a secret that it's been mostly the same recipe all over again from the first film to the last film. And don't get me wrong, I love this franchise. I love every single installment in the Scream franchise. I don't think there is any bad films in the franchise, but it's not a secret that they've been following the same formula all over again. And it's not a secret that Scream has a lot of like commentary in today's world, you know. And Scream 5 and Scream 6, they really struggled with the commentary, especially Scream 6. So why not making this a fan footage to make it a commentary in social media, in influencers, like in the stupid influencers of course, and why not having this following the ring bell literally. Why not making this, let's say, we're following a different kind of people outside of like the Sam situation. This is a new film, maybe this can be a spin-off or a reboot or something like that, I don't know. But we can follow maybe a group of influencers, or like maybe again a vlogger, or maybe just random teenagers that love social media, and obviously they get tormented by Ghostface, but they don't really know who Ghostface is. So they could play around with that. They can play around that they're always filming themselves, recording themselves, and obviously the Ghostface stuff starts to happen to them. So everyone needs to try to figure it out because it's one of the group of influencers around them. I don't know, like this might sound a bit messy, and maybe after this video I will develop this idea in a better way. But yeah, what do you think about this? Do you think Scream should have a fan footage installment? Personally, I think it could work so well. Or the other way that Scream could do this is, let's say, while following a family, or even if we follow Sam and Tara or something, I don't know. Maybe why not doing this kind of like a paranormal activity with the CCTV cameras, because obviously Sam or like Tara or the new characters, they're like really scared of Ghostface. So why not doing Scream throughout a CCTV, if that makes sense, because of how scared they are. So they all have cameras all around their houses, offices, anywhere, you know. So, or maybe Ghostface is a security person, something like that, you know, something different. I would love to see Scream as a fan footage. Now the next franchise, coming at number 3, will be the Ring franchise. Now I know there is a lot of films in this franchise, and yes, I'm including the Japanese originals. But I do think with this concept of Samara, she coming through a TV, or she connecting through technology, like in the newest film, we even saw her on a plane, on the TVs on the plane. So why not playing around with that to have a new installment from the Ring franchise throughout fan footage, if that makes sense. Let's say Samara she only communicates if there is a camera, like she's not literally in real life like in the films. She's only seen throughout a camera, throughout CCTV, throughout a phone, laptop, monitor, TV, etc., if that makes sense. And that's why we see her the whole time, because we're following a vlogger, or we're following a family throughout CCTV. So we see the family talking to maybe security people, to the police officers and all of that, because we only can see Samara throughout a camera. And I think it could work so well, and I think they could bring this back, because it's not a secret that nowadays technology is at the top of the game. So they could do so much with that, combining Samara and technology. Now, coming at number 2, this is personally my most exciting franchise to have it as a fan footage, because I do think that this franchise with a fan footage installment could be very, very creepy. And this franchise is probably the messiest franchise in this list, because this franchise has remakes, it has sequels, it has prequels, it has requels. So they've done all of it, but they don't really have a fan footage installment. And that will be the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. Yes, you heard me right. it's not a secret that this franchise is really messy because they don't really know how to work with Leatherface apart from the original and the 2 remakes, I would say. I think the other films, they don't really portray Leatherface as a threat. And it's not a secret that Leatherface, it can be a very, very creepy character, really scary, because it's not a secret that Leatherface, at least for me, he is very, very scary. Now, why do I say that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre should have a found footage installment? Is because it could be really creepy and it could be really creative to have Leatherface throughout a lens, throughout a camera, and maybe we could follow a group of friends going to Texas, like the same formula, but they are recording their holidays, you know? Maybe they could do a live action of the newest video game that came out last year. That game, obviously, because you're playing it with a POV from the characters from the video game, it is really scary, especially if you're playing that game with headphones. You can hear Leatherface from the back of your head, through the sides. You don't really know when Leatherface is coming to attack you, because it's a multiplayer game, so you don't really know where Leatherface or the family is. And it also reminded me that at the remake we kind of saw a fan footage clip where they're following the events from the film, and they even see Leatherface and it says this is the only footage recorded by Leatherface. So it could, I think if they make a whole film fan footage wise, I think it could kind of save up this franchise from the mess that it has been for the last few decades. And finally, the last franchise that I do think they should have a fan footage installment, and that's why this franchise is coming at number 1, because this franchise has the best concept to be portrayed as a fan footage, and that will be the Insidious franchise. It's not a secret that Insidious is one of the best franchises when it comes to portraying fear, demons, possessions, all of that in such a creative way, because I absolutely love this franchise. Yes, I did love the last year's film. Now, why do I think this franchise should include a found footage installment, you might ask? Because obviously in the franchise we have seen Elise and the other 2 guys try to discover the demons and fight the demons throughout this camera that this guy, I forgot the name, uses throughout like the films he is in. And I think in Insidious 2 we even have like a good 2-3 minutes scene fan footage wise, and I think that was really, really effective. So imagine if this film will have a whole film fan footage wise. I think that will be really scary and really effective, because fan footage is not a secret, because maybe of the shaky camera, of how realistic it feels. I think with Insidious it can be really, really effective. And again, I know they're gonna have a new film in this franchise, and I think that obviously they run out of ideas, because I think after last year's film I don't think there is more any concepts to bring Insidious back. So that was it. Those were the horror franchises that I do believe should include a found footage installment, because they have a very strong concept to have this and make it as realistic as possible, thanks to the phenomenon of found footage. Now let me know in the comment section below if you agree with this list, or which other horror franchises would you think will work as a found footage. I would love to read those. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please have a nice end of the week, please be safe, and we will talk soon. Bye bye.